With the Bite app, you'll get the first look at what's on the menu at your campus dining hall. Download it today. UTRGV-TV is brought to you in part by Nudie McAllen, a fusion grill restaurant located at 76 North 10th Street. Nudie is looking to fill front and back of house positions and is willing to work with your school schedule. Apply at the McAllen location today.
Last week, Edinburg Mayor Richard Molina was charged with voter fraud. We give you the latest on the case.
And there are now 4 confirmed cases of mumps on the Edinburg campus. We tell you how many have been reported in Hidalgo County. A world-renowned artist debuts his installation of an alternative border wall. Plus, we have the latest on early voting counts, and we wrap up this season of our Spotlight of the Month with chess coach Bartek Macieja. We have all of this and much more. UTRGV-TV starts now.
Thank you for joining us on this week's UTRGV-TV edition. I'm Elijah Noriega. For this week's top story, just last week, Edinburg Mayor Richard Molina
was charged with voter fraud. Our reporter Marisol Villarreal has the latest on the case.
Imagine you wanted your voice to be heard, so you cast your ballot. But then you soon realized that your ballot doesn't even matter because the election was rigged. Edinburg City Mayor Richard Molina was charged with 1 count of organized election fraud and 2 counts of illegal voting Friday. His wife, Dalia, was also charged for 1 count of illegal voting. It all started back in November 2017, when at least 7 people mentioned the Molinas to state investigators on voting illegally. As time passed, Channel 5 News released a story in April back in 2018. They submitted an open records request to the Hidalgo County Elections Department and found one address that stood out, a 1-bedroom house on Fay Street in Edinburg. 11 people were registered to vote from that address.
One of the things I want to do as mayor is have an open communication line, especially during the public comments of our meetings, and also use social media and our local media to our advantage in encouraging people to get their input at the council meetings the first and third Tuesday of every month. So I think we're lacking that right now. I want to work on the communication and the openness, the open government. Big lack of transparency that I've been calling out for several months now.
Molina volunteered as a voter registrar during his campaign. They're in charge of encouraging the public to vote and boost voter registrations.
These are charges. Obviously, you all know that very well. This is no admission of guilt, or the mayor actually very adamantly denies any wrongdoing. This has been something that the rumors have been swirling for a while, and it's time today to let this process really happen. That's what we're going to do today.
Molina and his wife, Dalia, are currently out on bond, and Molina was issued a combined $20,000 bond while his wife had a $5,000 bond, and they are both awaiting for their next court date. In Edinburgh, reporting for UTRGV-TV, I'm Marisol Villarreal.
A brief update on the mumps outbreak. There are now 4 confirmed cases on the Edinburgh campus out of the 25 reported in Hidalgo County, according to the Executive Vice President of Health Affairs. UTRGV reported early in the month of April on a student seeking medical attention at the university's clinic experiencing symptoms of the infection, followed by a second student. According to the Hidalgo County Clinic, another student and library staff member are now infected with mumps, totaling 3 students and 1 staff member. The UTRGV Health Service Clinic is offering free MMR vaccines until the end of the semester. A world-renowned artist debuts his installation of an alternative border wall at Mission's National Butterfly Center. Our reporter Rocio Villalobos brings us a story.
They want to drain our economy of all of our money, and so now we can't have solar panels, and now we can't have schools, and now we can't have health care because we're going to have a big monstrosity concrete wall that's useless and it's across the border. So now I'm actually drawn into it like everybody else.
The artist visited UTRGV School of Art to talk about his latest project, a welcome wall, located at the National Butterfly Center. The wall is 2,000 feet long, 15 feet high, and depicts images representing xenophobia and racism he says President Trump's border wall truly represents. English began his career as a street artist in the 1980s and has painted on a portion of the existing United States-Mexico barrier, as well as the Berlin Wall.
My idea was to, twofold, to kind of do something that served a different purpose besides the other wall, something that was more of kind of a public bulletin board where people could kind of express their ideas and what they think about the wall.
Once the welcome wall is taken down, the individual art will be auctioned off to benefit the Butterfly Center. English hopes to expand the project to other border cities, including Brownsville, for which he has obtained a permit.
The more people you bring together, and then the stronger you get, and I feel like at this point, people feel like that we're going to become a totalitarian society and it's unstoppable, and it's not.
If you would like to see the welcome wall for yourself, the installation will be up until 2020's election night. Reporting in Mission for UTRGV-TV, I'm Rocio Villalobos.
The 2019 Area 1 Special Olympic Spring Games kicked off this past Friday in Wesco. Take a look at this video. The games are intended to help boost health, mood, and reduce anxiety for individuals who have disabilities. UTRGV's very own women's basketball, track team, exercise science, and H&K clubs came out to support the event. Coach Armando Cuellar from the Wesco ISD School Board supports such events and encourages for more to continue in the future. Every April, Earth Day serves as a reminder to why an eco-friendly mindset is important. However, environmentalists hope that this mentality can translate to more than just one day. Our chief reporter Nathaniel Puente has more.
Climate change. It's a term we hear a lot. Environmental issues like these affect everything from record high temperatures to deforestation. But how much of this is man-made and how much is just the Earth's natural cycles? And what can we do to help? Well, we might have the answers. Earth, our home. We love it so much we gave it its own day. And each year, UTRGV hosts Earth Fest to promote sustainability.
We're here, we're set up to celebrate Earth Day and to tell students about sustainability and where they can make an impact and where they're already making an impact on the Earth.
But what about the rest of the year? Our culture of excessive trash and fuel consumption has taken its toll on the planet. Humans and other organisms are seeing the effects through climate change, food scarcity, and other environmental issues.
We've been guilty of cheap food.
Dr. Amy Hay, an associate professor of history, guides the Environmental Studies program. She says climate change is something future generations will have to deal with.
I think we've approached the tipping point as far as the Earth's temp and whether or not we can reverse it, right? Look, it won't affect me, but it'll affect your children or your grandchildren.
Are climate change and other environmental issues a part of the Earth's natural cycle, or are humans to blame for the crisis?
Most scientists would agree that human activity has had a significant, is a significant part of that. There were things that we did that intensified those cycles to the point now that we're approaching a point where there's not going to be a cycle, it's going to be broken.
And how exactly can we help? Well, you can start by switching to metal straws to replace plastic, carpooling to reduce pollution, and of course, recycle. Reporting from Edinburg for UTRGV-TV, I'm Nathaniel Puente.
Early voting for local entities election ends today, April 30th, but you still have one last chance to vote on Saturday, May 4th. Our reporters went out to see what's the latest in early voting counts.
Hey everyone, so today is the last day for early voting here in Edinburg and across 8 local entities in Hidalgo County. If you haven't gone out to vote, make sure you do so today by 7 p.m. in your respective city. There will be links on our website to the official county websites for more information on the polling locations and times. As of Monday, April 29th, there has been a total of 12,340 votes out of the approximately 363,000 registered voters in Hidalgo County. And in Cameron County, as of Monday, April 29th, there has been a total of nearly 9,600 votes across the 6 local entities in the election. So if you don't have time to go out and vote today, you still have one last chance, and that's on Saturday, May 4th. Here on the Edinburg campus for UTRGV-TV, I'm Juliana Quiroz.
The first screening of the Ay Mariposa film, a documentary that tells the story of 3 characters living in the lengthy shadow of the U.S.-Mexico border wall. I went out to learn more about the purpose for the film.
But we all can make a difference, and so you have the ability to make that change.
The highly anticipated Ay Mariposa film made its world premiere at the historic Cine El Rey.
It's important that people in the rest of the country understand what's at stake.
The story centers on two women, Mariana Treviño Wright and Zulema Hernandez, and a community of butterflies that stand on the front lines of the battle, struggling to fight against the border wall. Ay Mariposa's director gives us more insight on the purpose for her film.
Border walls are destructive to communities, whether they be communities of wildlife, communities of people. And I think that decisions being made in Washington, D.C. about a place that most of those politicians don't know anything about, they will invariably be the wrong decisions.
Later, a panel discussion featuring the director and the two main characters closed the night for the premiere. Martha Garcia, a UTRGV student in the Environmental Awareness Club, attended the screening. She says it's important to bring light on these issues concerning the border wall.
I came out to watch this documentary, Ay Mariposa, because I think it's important to bring light to these issues. This film talks about fighting the border wall here in our region, and I think by coming out here and partaking in these events, we really get a sense of our community. We really get to see cinematography that showcases what we have here in the valley.
For more information or ways to get involved, go to the North Border Wall Coalition Facebook page. Schleier hopes to continue entering her film to more local festivals in hopes of reaching a wider audience. In McAllen for UTRGV-TV, I'm Elijah Noriega.
The National Butterfly Center hosts a public celebration to bring positive change to people's perception of the border. Our reporter Kim Mesa went out to see what the community has to say for UTRGV-TV's Noticias en Español.
El Centro Nacional de las Mariposas tuvo un evento especial que incluyó música en vivo, comida y organizaciones locales, pero lo que trajo a la comunidad al evento fue la bienvenida de un muro alternativo creado por pintor Ron English. Fotógrafa Verónica Cárdenas aprecia el arte.
To look at this artwork because I'm a photojournalist and documentary photographer from the Valley. Always interested in art, and especially when it has to do with the current political climate in this country.
El muro no solo fue pintado por pintor English, artistas locales también colaboraron. Jorge Trujillo se llenó de emoción al saber que el pintor visitaba el valle de Río Grande.
Well, I happened to run into Ron English actually coming in from Newark on Monday, and I saw him boarding the plane, and I couldn't believe it. I saw his mural in Peñitas in 2011. It was still super poignant, and it was really intimate to me, that experience, so I come here just to enjoy the art.
La comunidad tenía mucho que preguntarle al pintor, como de dónde viene el dinero para sus proyectos y qué hay para el futuro.
When I very first announced that I wanted to do this, Suzanne, the woman who was the host of the radio show, and she goes like, "No, I'm friends with Vicente Fox and all these billionaires down in Mexico," and so she started calling them up, and then they said, "You know what? We're gonna help you build this wall." So anyway, I just wanted to keep rolling on my own, It's just, these things take a long time. My dream is to have 2,000 artists do the wall.
That's amazing. La comunidad continuó apreciando el muro y tomando fotos, y la celebración siguió en la parte de enfrente con música, comida y juegos. Reportando en la ciudad de Mission, Kim Mesa para UTRGV Noticias en Español.
Here are this week's police reports released to us this past week by UTRGV PD. On April 22nd, an officer was dispatched to the Biomedical Research and Health Building in reference to a liquid nitrogen tank leaking in the area. Brownsville Fire Department responded to scene, moved the tank to the dock area, and secured it from public contact. UTRGV facilities and environmental health and health safety were notified of the incident. On April 25th, a female student reported being followed by an unknown male while working on both the second and third floors of the Edinburg Library. The female reported that the male's actions made her feel uneasy and decided to report the incident. Officers located a male subject fitting the description inside the lobby area of the library. The male subject was a UTRGV student. He claimed to be walking around the library because he had been sitting all day and was not following anyone around. He apologized for any misunderstanding. And a male student reported being shocked as a result of an electrical short in the engineering building at the Edinburg campus. The male student was not injured and refused medical treatment. Facility staff was contacted and the said room was closed. That same day, UTRGV PD released a report saying that Brownsville Police Department is currently investigating an assault by contact fondling incident that occurred on the Texas Southmost College campus. The incident occurred on April 24th, 2019 between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. The suspect is described as a Caucasian male, approximately 5'6", 5'8" in height, slim built, hazel eyes, short hair, light complexion, wearing a blue in color sweater with red and white stripes. If you have any information related to this crime or the Brownsville Police Department, call 956-548-7000. And here's this week's sports highlights with our chief reporter, Nathaniel Puente.
Now, usually on this sportscast, we focus strictly on UTRGV sports. But today, I want to highlight the greatest sporting event that's going on right now. The 2019 Marble Olympics are taking place. And wow, just look at that action. Hashtag Go O Rangers. Now let's get you caught up in the latest in UTRGV sports. And yes, the broom is back. And you know what that means. UTRGV took a 3-game sweep of another WAC opponent. This time it was Seattle U. The first game saw the Vaqueros stage a late-game comeback. With a 2-0 deficit, UTRGV tied the game in the 6th inning with RBIs from Aaron Galvan and Elijah Alexander. The ensuing inning saw Texas' Tyler Torres deliver a 2-run single that pushed UTRGV to a lead they would not relinquish as they won 7-3. Game 2 was all about offense, at least it was for UTRGV. The Vaqueros annihilated the Redbirds 15-7 thanks to some impressive hitting. The thwarting started in the first inning where Alexander Galvan and Anthony Gomez drove in 4 runs. They doubled that mark later in the 8th inning when 6 UTRGV players accounted for 8 runs. The final game of the series saw some late-game magic from the Vaqueros. After a back-and-forth battle, UTRGV trailed by 1 run in the 9th inning. Conrad Diaz grounded to short, but an errant throw let UTRGV tie the game. The Vaqueros wasted no time in extra innings as Coleman Grubbs slammed a walk-off home run to give UTRGV the sweep. UTRGV now owns sole possession of first place in the WAC standings, and that's a pretty good place to be. The Rio Grande Valley is also a good place to be. We've gained some notoriety in the past couple months due to the humanitarian crisis, some voter fraud stuff, but now we're in the spotlight for the WAC Women's Tennis Championship, which took place this past weekend. 4th-seeded UTRGV eased past Chicago State before falling to Grand Canyon 4-2 in the semifinal game. Seniors Dominique Ibata and Michelle Walker win their final matches in UTRGV uniforms. Now let's talk more about the Marble Olympics. I just met this guy in a parking lot, and it turns out he's the biggest Marble Olympics fan out there. So can you introduce yourself for us?
My name is Christian Garza. I am a student here at UTRGV, and I'm very excited for the Marble Olympics.
Awesome. So Christian, who's your favorite marble team?
I would have to say the Savage Speeders. They're looking really very good this time around, and I have a lot of hope for them, and they're my favorite team.
And how do you expect them to perform this season?
I think they're going to win every medal, and I just want everyone to know that the hazers are just plain awful.
Awesome. So there's your Marble Olympics recap, your UTRGV sports on UTRGV-TV. I'm Nathaniel Puente. This is Christian Garza.
For our final spotlight of the month, a couple of weeks ago, our assistant station manager had the chance to sit down with Bartek, Macieja, the chess coach for UTRGV's 2-time national winning chess team.
Welcome back, everyone, to our Spotlight of the Month, our final Spotlight of the Month for this semester. And I've invited Bartek Macieja. He is the chess coach for the chess team here at UTRGV. They just got their 2nd win at nationals. They were at the Final Four of the collegiate chess at the Marshall Chess Club in New York City. This is UTRGV's 5th appearance in the Final Four, including 3 appearances as UTRGV Legacy Institution at UTB and TSC. And last year was the team's first win in UTRGV history. A win paved the way for UTRGV to be named the 2018 Chess College of the Year by the U.S. Chess Federation. So they competed against Webster University and Harvard. How does it feel to be competing with these private universities and Ivy Leagues and to be representing UTRGV at a national level?
I'm very proud of my students, of my team, that we've succeeded to defend our championship title. It was already last year amazing that we won the National Collegiate Championship, that we were best in the nation. Many people believed it was at least like partially accidental, maybe we're not that good, maybe other colleges were better. Well, we decided to prove it wasn't the case. We are very well prepared actually. The whole academic year we played extremely good. Everything started in October in our Texas superfinals. We won, so we are state champions. Later on we played a qualification tournament to Final Four, which was tough. There were about 60 teams, and to be in top 4, it was really difficult, so I was even afraid we wouldn't make it. Fortunately, we played very well in final rounds, and eventually we qualified. Then in February, we played the Southwest Championship, and the Southwest Championship we also won. In March, we played the National Collegiate Rapid Championship. Rapid chess is like a faster form of chess. We also won it. And now we brought from New York the most prestigious trophy, the national championship title, and this is our trophy. Yes.
This is a President's Cup.
President's Cup. Yes, that's pretty amazing. Of course, other colleges. They didn't want us to win. We are probably the smallest college, or at least definitely not as famous as Harvard, and even locally UT Dallas. So those matches are always tough. We want to show no, we are best, and fortunately we are able to prove it on a chessboard. So now everybody knows that what is best is at UTRGV.
And so, I know you've been a chess coach here for 6 years. How have you changed your strategies towards winning that national title?
UT Brownsville had a good chess program, one of the best in the nations. However, when I arrived, the situation within the chess program wasn't that great. Our players, good players, were graduating almost instantly, so I had to basically rebuild the team from the scratch. And we did it gradually. It took us some years, but now, since UTRGV started, we have a really very, very good team. Guys are good, not only at chess actually, they are also very good academically. Our GPA last semester was 3.8, which is a good average GPA. The team is basically staying for next year. 4 of players are not, 4 students don't graduate. 1 of them graduates, but we are actually very proud of him. Guillermo Vasquez got a job offer from Microsoft. He's moving to Seattle. So we are proud of him. But this also shows that, UTRGV students, they can be really successful. So Guillermo is successful both in chess, in academics, and you can get invited by the biggest companies in the US.
Right. And so what happens after this? What happens after this big win? What's the plans for the next couple of months, for this next year? Everybody expects us to celebrate, but actually... It's time to get back to work.
Yes, that's not what's gonna happen, at least if we want to be as successful next year. So what will happen is, already on Tuesday we are going for our training tournaments. We don't have more championships, but we have to train. So our trainings, there's just instruction, but there are also training tournaments where we are going as a team. And one of such training tournaments will take place right now. We are flying to Boston on Tuesday.
So again, well, thank you so much for taking your time to be here with us today. I've been asking him since January of this year to be here with us. We thank you for representing UTRGV and for all that hard work, because we know it's a lot. It's not something that you get from one day to the next to be a national title winner. So we thank you for that.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. This is our Spotlight of the Month.
That's all we have for you today. But remember, if you have a story you would like for us to know about, or know someone who is making an impact on campus or in the community, You can contact us through our social media or email us at utrgvtv@gmail.com. We have community and UTRGV news for you every week. See you next time.